Well, hello friends, and welcome to another WSIB Truth Matters with Joe Machado, where I separate the truth from bullshit, facts from fiction, in plain English. Just going to give you a little bit of an update on what's been happening over the past few days with respect to this strike and some of the things that I've done to try and get these people back to work. Of course, I really don't have any power on that, but I try in any case because I do believe that they need to get back to work so that injured workers can get paid and can get the support they need and get their needs looked after. Okay, so without any further delay, let's get at it. All right, my friends. So anyway, I've been asked a lot of questions by a lot of people over the past few days as to whether or not the union has finalized a deal with the WSIB leadership, whether they're going to be back to work soon, and things of that nature. And so basically all that I've been able to say on that is that I have been in touch with the union. I am in the process of scheduling a follow-up interview to the last one to hopefully have some updates and real information coming from those who are actually involved and have a voice at the table. So hopefully that will be set up soon enough. But yes, those negotiations are ongoing, and I really can't tell you whether or not they're any closer to having a deal today than they were almost 4 weeks ago when this started. One thing that I do know, based on a lot of the feedback that I'm getting from viewers and subscribers and our members of WSIB Settlements, is that there is a concern that things aren't getting done in their claims. We're trying to advance as much of the activities in the claims as we can. Case managers aren't there, return to work specialists aren't there, so they're not making decisions. Managers are filling in, and maybe the occasional director, but managers, they don't manage claims. In fact, we've had managers promise some of our members a return call, which never happened. So that should tell you. At the end of the day, the longer that union members are away from the office, the more stress is going to be placed on injured workers. So we're all trying to get this done, and I'm doing whatever I can within my own limited abilities to make this happen. One thing that I know for sure is that the union and the frontline workers, they can't back down now. This has been my opinion. This has been my advice that I've vocalized. They can't back down. This is a historical event. And WSIB leadership in the province have had a far more input and control over how claims are adjudicated, how decisions are made. The decisions that are made based on merit and based on the law that should be approved, that should move along. The union members have very seldom, or have actually never been in this situation where they have had that sort of power. I do have viewers and members who disagree with that, and that's okay. That's okay. Everybody has an opinion, and everybody, and I respect that, but I don't agree with it. I've been around this animal for a long time, and I've seen this dance. And the union can't back down now. They have to keep pushing hard. I would assume that Jeff Lang and some of his underlings should be concerned for their jobs. This is just my own opinion based on all of the information that I've gathered. They have good reason to be concerned. They should be gone, as far as I'm concerned. Right? That's just my opinion. But yeah, I think they should be gone. But also, in addition to that, case managers, return to work specialists, the frontline people who have very little power over a lot of what's happened should be given more authority, more unfettered ability to make decisions, to be able to stand by those decisions. And you know what? If those decisions prove to be wrong, then let an appeals resolution officer do the hearing, do the deliberation, review the evidence, review the law and policy. They should have the knowledge and experience to do that and render a decision. If the decision is such that it should overturn the case manager's decision, that the decision was somehow erroneous, that didn't follow the law and policy or disregarded evidence or overruled the doctor, whatever the case may be, let the appeal system do its job. Not the guys upstairs, the fat cats pulling the fucking strings, right? They shouldn't be involved. They're not in the appeals branch. They're not appeals resolution officers, and they're not case managers, right? Their role should be managerial. Whatever the fuck it is that they do all day, they should not be meddling in how case managers make decisions. They should trust that the appeal system is there to safeguard from wrong decisions, to correct it. And then above and beyond the Appeals Services Division, there's the Workplace Safety and Insurance Appeals Tribunal, which has been there since 1985. And I think between these two levels of appeal, they should be able to get shit right if somebody did a wrong decision, right? Not to have the leadership like Jeff Lamb and the VPs, 22 of them, and Gavin Pokin, the Chief Operating Officer, who started off as a case manager, by the way, or adjudicator at the time, or countless directors and countless managers. They could get the fuck out of the way, right? Because all they're doing is muddying the waters. They cause delays, unnecessary delays in the decision-making process, and getting checks cut for workers who need those checks, who are entitled to receive those checks. They need to stay the fuck out of the way, right? And trust the system that's there to do its job. So yeah, I do know what I'm talking about, and I do know the infrastructure and how all of it works. So I do agree that the union need to put the leadership backs up against the fucking wall and say, no, we're not doing your bidding for you anymore. Not going to happen. I don't blame them for wanting to do that. I don't blame them. Hopefully there will be an update that I can do. But what happens between all of this is workers are stuck in the middle. Eventually there will be a deal. I've shared my concerns with the union, and I'm sharing those with you today about the union's messaging. In particular, they've posted on Facebook, and my marketing team scours all social media so that we have a finger on the pulse of what's being said out there, who's saying what, and for what reason, and is it wrong information, is it good, is it bad information, or is it just somebody venting or looking for attention. So if they're targeting individuals on Facebook, there are a number of Facebook groups out there, and I'm not going to name them because you know who you are. Some of them I believe are credible. Some of them I believe are there to offer injured workers support, a place where they can vent their concerns. But there's some, they're just trolls. They're trolls, right? They're people that are haters. They're disenfranchised with the whole system. They think they've been screwed over by the system and that somehow they were wrong, or they're offering bad information, opinions about the law that they have zero experience in, and all of this kind of crap. And they have destructive behavior towards paralegals and lawyers and union representatives and anybody who's trying to help injured workers. These people, all they want is a place where people can come and make them feel good, because they draw the good people into the fucking gutter like they are, right? And they have probably zero merit. Their claim probably had no merit whatsoever. And maybe that's why it was denied. But there are groups that are doing that. And people who are looking for information sometimes get sucked into that. So the union's messaging they need to be concerned about this, right? because their most recent post was to have workers pressure their union to pressure the government into doing something. One of their posts, I'm going to put it up here, right? It came from the union, and 10,000 emails to WSIB and 0 in your MPP's inbox. Well, what they're trying to say is that you really should be hounding your MPP to do this. Another one I'm going to put up here is tell your MPP, speak for workers. Email them in 2 minutes, right? Let them know how you're feeling. Let them know that are they listening to what you're saying, right? This is the wrong messaging, and I told the unions as much. I offered my opinion, right? Injured workers still, a lot of them still feel, a lot of you still feel that they are the culprit, that they're the villain, that they are the absolute responsible for everything that's ever gone wrong with your claim. And that is not entirely correct. And when the union is trying to get people who feel this way and who have a legitimate reason to feel this way, to enlist their union, their MPP, to put pressure on the government, it's not going to happen. It's going to backfire, right? Because they shut down. When you try to use them as a tool, and even though I believe that your intentions are probably the right ones, to enlist as much support and as much pressure as you can to help negotiations, the messaging is wrong. You're going to get the opposite of what you're expecting. Just saying. So I hope that you can adjust your messaging, and I've offered some input in that regard, but that's entirely up to the union. But yes, if that messaging continues, they're speaking to the wrong people. And those trolls and those haters, they're going to feast on that. And they're going to continue their spewing of hatred. And that's not productive. That's not going to help anybody at all, much less the worker who just wants treatment and to be paid when he's off work because he can't do his job, because of his injury or his illness. Beat the fat cats. Anyone who's watched this channel for any more than 1 minute knows that my target is the ones that I think are the absolute worst of the problem are the leadership, the fat cats. My issues with the union and some members, that's fine. That's been resolved. And I believe that they need to stay in this fight. They need to stay steadfast. And they need to make sure that leadership knows we're not going to fucking settle until we're ready, until you put a deal on the table that allows us to do our job and serve the needs of our customers, which are the injured worker, and not the leadership, and not all the other fucking croonies who will only benefit from this type of a dispute. All right, my friends? So I'm going to be back again with another one. Hopefully I'll have a better update for you, but this is information that's important that everybody needs to know, right? That the union is not the enemy here. The frontliners aren't the enemy. Yes, there's some bad apples. We've talked about that. But overall, they're not the problem. All right, my friends? Until next time, and as always, take care.
We know that connecting with the right lawyer or paralegal to handle your case can be overwhelming. Do they have the expertise to handle your case? Do they have a good track record? Are they affordable? We've got you covered. Legal Pro Connect takes the guesswork out of finding the right legal provider. We've already done the vetting for you and connect you with the right lawyer or paralegal. With the expertise to handle your specific issue and at preferred rates. Get connected today. Visit www.wsibsettlements.com.